Ahoy! Ahoy! So good to have you all here again for 30 minutes of very intense conversation and debate about in our daily Zlin Film Festival live internet TV session. There's two things I want to say about today's panel. One is one reason why I was in doubt whether I should accept this job to do this, to host this panel was that it would like force me to pronounce all this exotic and unpronounceable names. And if there was a competition in names, then today we would be playing Champions League, because this panel is really exceptional. Thank you, all of you, for being so exotic. And the other thing I want to share with you is that yesterday, one of the people who were in our panel, Floor, the director from the Rhinoceros documentary, she posted a fantastic quote on Facebook, and I was really super happy that she did. I was super proud. She said, what is typical for me with the Zlin Film Festival is that you can feel women power all over the festival. The staff, the team, it's 80% female, and you can feel that in every aspect of the festival, and it's a feeling that I appreciate a lot. And I was so happy when Floor said that, and then look at our panel today. Yeah. So I think I would suggest, like, we don't do interviews today, we just go arm wrestling on the table or something. Yeah? Yeah, we should be proud to have so many male species with us today, and we are very happy having here with us Guillaume Majdachevsky, who made a documentary called Ailo's Journey.
Yeah.
Then we have Mamuka Tkeshelashvili, who made a wonderful animation film that is named The Fisherman and the Girl. Then we have, that's an easy one, George Pisterianu from Romania, an actor who can be seen on the big screen tonight in the film If I Want to Whistle, I Whistle. Then we have Drazen Zarkovic, director from My Grandpa is an Alien, and then this one might sound very exotic to you, but it's a really easy one for me, as Hans is coming from Belgium, just like I am. So I am proud to introduce you to the very exotic Hans van Netelbos. We have a wide selection of sections today in the panel. We only have like one major or main competition filmmaker, but we have people working with documentaries, with animation. We have an actor from the Balkan Focus, and we have somebody from the Zlin Doc section with us. I would like to start with Guillaume. Guillaume, your film is a documentary about Ailo, a little reindeer, and it had a screening this morning in the festival. How did it go?
It was really good. I mean, we had many children. They were laughing a lot. So yeah, I hope. I mean, it's it's an amazing feeling when you spend so many days outside. I mean, in Lapland, it was shot in Lapland. I mean, minus 40 degrees. We were just 5 of us filming, and yeah, after 200 days of shooting. I mean, just listening to children laughing like that, it means really, it's really cool for us to feel this kind of this kind of feeling. So it was great. Yeah.
It's a film about a reindeer. That's an animal for us Europeans, at least, closer to home than sharks and lions. I mean, whenever I switch on Discovery Channel, always somebody is wrestling with crocodiles or hunting sharks or saving lions. And I was particularly happy to see one about an animal that might go easily unnoticed.
You know, I did so many wildlife films, especially in Africa, and you always filming lion and elephants, big mammals, and some are mostly predator. So for me, that's a documentary, but that's also a wildlife tale. So it was really important for me, more interesting for me to film a prey, because the reindeer is a prey. So talking about dramatic scene, it's much more interesting a prey, because I mean they always have to be afraid. They always have to look at behind them. When you are a lion, I mean, you know what will happen at the end. He's the king. So, but when you're reindeers, you never know what happened at the end of the day. So, I mean, filming him is much more interesting for me. So that's why.
If you want to film, like if you want to make a documentary about a region or about a nature resort or about a species, you can do that from a certain distance. If you want to film or you make a film about one particular individual animal, you have to be really close. And I think a lot of trust and patience is needed before you can get that close with the protagonist of your film.
Yeah, it's the same with children. Filming children, you have to be patient. I know I got two, so I'm used to them. And well, for me, I mean, I did a film about characters, not about a species. That's really important to say. I did follow an individual characters. It means, I mean, I did not follow a reindeer. I followed that reindeer because I mean, each one's got his own behavior, his own. I mean, he's got his own playful. I mean, he's quite sad sometimes, as us. So that was really interesting for me to follow this kind of characters. And as you say, you have to be really close, so he has to trust in you. That's why it takes lots of time for him also to be used to us.
But then in the end, it worked, because as far as I was informed, you were speaking with the animal, you were touching the animal, you were touching your protagonist.
Never touch animals. That's the main rule. No, what's important about ILO? I mean, we spend many days trying to film a birth, and I say we've got kind of trust circles. It means animals. Animal is in the middle of the circle, and we are outside. And depending on his reactions, if he's afraid or if he's not, we can go little bit down the circle or not. And for ILO, we spent many days trying to film a birth, but it was always complicated. But trust me, that's not a storytelling. One female stay always with us. It's wild female, but she stay 5 meters from us when we were filming the other birth, trying to. And after 10 days trying to film birth, this female, I mean, walk away, and she gave birth at 5 meters from us. So it was really cool to film this birth, and it became ILO. So that's why ILO, when he just opened his eyes, he saw his mother, he saw the rest of the herd, and he saw us, the film crew. That's why he get used to us. So we were part of his herd. That's why we could film ILO pretty close.
When I was reading on the internet some of the notes that you posted there regarding the film, there was one reference that particularly tickled my imagination. You often refer to Ice Age.
Yeah, that's my reference. Yeah, I love animation films. I don't know if you like Ice Age, if it's your. But you will see with when filming Ice Age, when watching Ice Age, there's different level of understanding, different level of seeing the film. That's why I wanted for ILO. I wanted to be a family movie, not just for children, but also for the whole family. Yeah. That's what's really important for me for ILO. So yeah, when you look at the white stoat, the little white creature, I mean, she's totally crazy, and it makes me feel like it could be a scrat in Ice Age. So that's why, I mean, I love animation films, so maybe it would be my next, but I always add some key scene in my head, and when I'm filming, for example, this little stoat creature, I mean, I tried to film her, and it was impossible because she moved a lot. Yep. So I just fixed my camera, did a wide angle, and let her move around. It works quite really cool. So,
thank you. Since you made the bridge so easily to animation, I would be happy to ask a few questions to Mamuka, who's here with us with a film called The Fisherman and the Girl. It's a story about a father and a daughter and what there is between them. Can you tell us the story in 3 sentences? What is so special about this story?
The story, main things of the story is about relations between father and daughter. I think relations is more important thing in the world, and it's in the father and daughter. It's more important. I have a daughter, and it's my relation with my daughter, and it's like I like to.
What is as intriguing as the story for me is also the style. It's made with marionettes. There's puppets on strings. That's not an obvious choice, but it was something that you wanted to do.
Yes, this is stop motion. It's a puppet. It's for a puppet made for paper and something construction inside. And all things, it's a real things. It's branches, leaves, and something I used for real things. And also water. It's plastic and a little thing of the water. Also the real. And it's I think it's interesting to do thing like this.
What surprised me is that although those puppets are made out of wood, is it wood or is it?
No, it's a paper. It's a paper. Yeah. It's I did with myself. Most of these things made with myself because we had a low budget, and I was animator, cameraman, lightman, and all things do with myself. Most of these things and shooting period do with myself. And reason I shoot it 3 years. It's big time because a low budget, and it's depend the budget.
What I wanted to ask about these puppets, that even if it's not wood, it's paper, but still in these stone faces or in this non-physical bodies, still I could see a lot of physical tenderness expressed, which I thought was really, really beautiful in this film. In their iron bones or their paper bodies, you can see a lot of tender feelings between the 2 main characters. How do you work with a puppet to express this emotion of tenderness?
It's a difficult question. I use the light, and using the light, I think it's in my film. Light is working. It's more important thing. It's working light and how its camera move, and it's like a little bit for me like film, between film and animation. For me, it's because my first profession I'm a film designer. I was studying a film designer. Then I worked in the light department, and now I'm working in the television in light department, and I'm also make the animation movies.
Last night I had the privilege to sit around a table with the members from the animation jury, and I could follow their conversation. And I was surprised to hear that they had to all the things that they have to keep in mind. It's about narratives, it's about logics, but it's also about many different techniques. It's about so many technical aspects. I suppose you're not the kind of person that brags about its film to everybody like it's the best film in the world.
No.
I don't see it in you, but if you had to tell to the jury, this is one aspect of the film that I'm really proud about. This is something that I thought really succeeded in my film. This is something that I wanted to do and I made it happen. Can you tell us about a specific aspect of the film that you're particularly proud about?
I think the main message of the film, it's a film about children, and it's a film about parents. We are all parents, and we had not so many time to spend time for our children. We are also always busy, and children need to us to spend time for us. And it's film about also his father and how to want to spend more time for his daughter. And he tried to catch some wonder and magic fish to make her happy. And when his daughter is happy, he is happy also. And
thank you for sharing that with us.
Sorry for my poor English.
No. I'm really happy that, and your message came across. I can tell you. So thanks a lot for that. I would like to ask George, who was a mean-looking teenager 9 years ago, and he hasn't changed.
It wasn't. No, I wasn't. No.
And it hasn't changed a bit ever since.
No. I thought I'm cuter, but okay. Yeah, I'm bigger. I can. I cannot show those emotions, but actually today I have to go back to Romania, of course. But I'm involved in the television show where I'm playing actually the same character, most of it. The character who killed his father, and after that he do bad things, you know. He's like in mafia or something like this. So somehow, yeah. Somehow the directors from Romania and also from Ireland, where I was shooting many projects, they tag me just for this kind of character.
You seem to be quite happy about it.
I assume this. It's my job. So I do this with pleasure. So maybe someday I will do more characters, different characters. Who knows? But now I am enjoying this for the moment.
So the film, If I Want to Whistle, I Whistle. It takes place in a juvenile institute, juvenile prison.
In the story, yes, but actually in the real life, it's like it was a farm. So but we have this kind of juvenile prison. Guys, most of them are boys from 17 years old to 21. Who are the most dangerous guys because they don't have anything to lose, they don't think, and they stab each other. They do a lot of bad things even in the juvenile prison.
So do you in the film? But the impact is quite strong. I remember I had the privilege to be in the premiere like 9 years ago in the Berlinale, and I still remember this was one of those screenings where after the film, the light goes on and everybody is like silent for 10 seconds and feeling very uncomfortable with what they've just seen on screen. It made a really strong impression on people.
My feeling was shame, actually, at the first time, because I haven't seen the movie before Berlinale, and was my first project, my first actually project that I was involved in. So when I saw my face on Berlinale Gala, I was, oh my God, I did so bad there. Oh
you should have been ashamed, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know, but you know how it is when you see yourself the first time. It's quite strange. But I was very happy back then, and I'm very happy now because the Zlin Film Festival invited us after 9 years. So it's a big thing. For us.
And what is the main feeling? I suppose you don't watch the film again every week, so it's a long time ago since you saw it. Of course.
I watch other projects just to see the bad things.
What will be the main emotion tonight in the cinema when you're going to present your film? Will you be happy? Will you be proud? Will you be ashamed? Will you be nervous?
I don't think I will be ashamed. I will be emotional. Because I haven't watched it for, I don't know, 5 years or 6 years, so I will be thrilled. I will be enjoy.
The last thing that I want you to tell about is the trip you made to Zlin, because we were quite excited to follow you on the internet while you came on motorcycle from Romania to Zlin. How was the trip?
The trip was very nice. I want to congratulate the people from Czechia that they have a very good road, They have a very good, a very nice view, and for the motorcycle, it's unbelievable because you have all those nice roads. It was a little bit. I was tired, of course, after 1,100 something kilometers. So I was enjoying. I was posting on Instagram because now I am in this mood of gathering followers for Instagram because it's normal for an actor, you know. Everyone can see you, directors, casting directors. So it's good for us, and it's free. Why should I do it? Why should I not do it? So it was a very good opportunity to come on a motorcycle to be here.
Okay, well, it's very good to have you here as well, and the same goes for Drazen Zarkovic, who made this beautiful film that we have in competition. My Grandpa is an Alien. You had a screening this morning. All went well.
Yeah, it was perfect, you know. It was a little bit smaller venue than first screening. First screening was, I don't know, around 400 kids, and it was quite overwhelming, you know, to feel the reactions from that big of a crowd, you know.
Your film is a sci-fi story, a science fiction story, and you get away with it. I mean, I don't know about your budget, but you can easily be proud about the stuff that is seen on screen.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, and it was quite complicated. You know, I'm coming from relatively smaller cinematography, and sci-fi, by definition, is usually something which is expensive because of VFX, you know, special effects, and all of the aliens and everything. So we were a little bit hesitant in the beginning. Should we at all get into it, but my producers, they produced a small miracle, you know, managing to gather the co-producing partners from 6 European countries, you know. Czechia is one of them, maybe one of the most important, because a lot of special effects were done here in Prague and Magic Lab Studio. And one of the main characters, which is a real robot, was also made in Prague by Martin Pech and his crew, and then we brought him to Croatia for the shooting. And there are also Slovenian talent, Slovakian, Bosnian, from Luxembourg and Norway. So we were mixing the sound in Lillehammer this winter in January. So it's quite, you know, coming from such a relatively small country and a small community, you know, it was a real eye-opener, you know, to a melting pot of a crew and a movie and everything, you know. The sound was mixed by, you know, a guy who is living in Norway, but he's from Hungary, you know. So, and we desperately wanted to find some 2D animator in Croatia to do the robot's eyes, which is 2D animation, and we found him, and it turned out that he is married into Brno, and he lives here. So we were cooperating online with him also, you know. So a lot of online cooperation. And actually, the advancement in the computer technology nowadays allowed us to do something like this, to pull it off. You know, maybe even 10 years ago we wouldn't able to do it. You know.
What charmed me the most about, even if it's a big sci-fi adventure, there's at one point a very beautiful relationship between different generations, a grandfather and his granddaughter. But what charmed me most, I think, was your two main characters, and I want you to tell us a little bit about both of them. There is a girl that is not a typical children's film girl. She's fantastic on screen, but she's not the average kid.
Yes, her name is Lana, and what's the greatest thing for us, the movie makers, was she is actually a very accomplished dancer, and she is used to endless rehearsals and repetitions, and acting opposing to a robot, you know, which is that thing lying in front of you, without the presence of his real voice. It's quite unintuitive, and it's problematic for much more experienced and professional actors than the small child, you know, which she was 10 years old at the moment. And because of her background in dancing, she done that. She pulled it off, you know, with quite easy, you know. So she was just perfect for us.
Okay, thank you so much. There's quite a lot of more questions here, but time is shortening up very fast, and I want at least to give the chance to Hans to tell us also a little bit. We have another juvenile delinquent here with us, which is like your natural environment. You made a film about a prison, now you made a film about a juvenile prison, as far as I...
Yes, that's true. That is true, indeed. The previous film was actually about a man getting out of prison and trying to get back in touch with the life he left behind. But it's actually because we made this film and that we were in touch with the people from the prison that I actually got inspired to make this next one.
Your film is running in the Zlindog competition. Could you please be, for 30 seconds, the ambassador of the Zlindog competition? Because few people know what it's exactly about.
Well, the Zlindog competition is a student competition, which is basically divided. I don't think it's divided. It's one big pot of both live action, documentary, and animation. And I mean, for all students, these kind of competitions are really important because we're all students. We're all trying to, you know, start a career for ourselves, and it's really important to have your film being seen in festivals. So being here is really great, and I'm really honored to be one of the selected ones. Yeah.
You were surprised somehow to have your film in this competition because you told me that there's quite some strong language and there's also quite a strong subject. You were not expecting it to be screened for a young audience?
No, it was actually my promoter who told me to send in the film to this festival, and I was a bit doubtful because the title of the festival is the Zlin Film Festival for Children and Youth. So I was like, are you sure they're gonna like this? It's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of strong language in it. There's some aggressive scenes into it too. It's a very serious subject as well. So yeah, when we heard that we got selected here, I was a bit surprised. Very happy, of course, because I know of the festival and that it's quite a big festival. It's a lovely festival. It takes up the entire town. But yeah, I didn't expect it. No.
What I found really what touched me in your film is that when you see those kids in this institution, most of them are convicted beyond their trial. It's not just like they had a trial and they're convicted now. They're also convicted by everybody who works there, or most people who work there. They're convicted by society, and it is as if everything they do is marked by this one thing they did wrong in their lives.
That is indeed part of the subject of the film, and I worked a lot with educators and directors of actual juvenile detention centers in Belgium, and it's true, it's this, they get this mark. Once they do this one thing, they get this mark, and forever they'll be looked upon as juvenile delinquents, which is, I mean, everybody thinks it's a very sad thing because often these kids come from, you know, bad neighborhoods or a bad family situation, and you know, they're kids, and we all sometimes do stupid things when we're kids, so they shouldn't be, you know, judged by these few things that they did wrong. There's also a lot of good in them. And in the film, we kind of, I try to put in like the three kind of ways of looking at them. So you have like the guard Marcel, he's the one who's being very judgmental upon them. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the educator Eva, who, you know, wants to give them the benefit of the doubt. And then you have Nico, who's in the middle and who kind of sees it in both ways. He's like the gray area. He says, like, yes, you still have to, you know, admit these kids did a lot of things wrong, but at the same time, you shouldn't be too hard on them.
One short question, the last one, just to compare with George. You see, gorgeous George came here on a motorcycle. You go home tomorrow by bus to Belgium.
Yes.
How will that be?
Well, I'm very much into the whole, you know, climate change thing. So, I mean, we came here by plane because we didn't have a lot of time because we just stopped shooting my girlfriend's film. So we kind of had to rush it, so we took the plane, but we considered it, you know, let's do it for once. It'll be the first time for us taking back the bus. It's going to be a trip of 18 hours, luckily 8 of which during the evening and the night, so hopefully we can get some rest. But I think it's something that everybody should consider, taking a bus more often instead of a plane. We're talking about the future of our planet and our children, so I think it's worth to take a bus, you know, an 18-hour bus drive or climate change, and think, okay, I know which one to choose.
Okay. Comparing the bus, the motorcycle, the beautiful environment that was shown in your film. Thank you so much all for being here. It was a great pleasure to have you here. I hope we can continue our conversation a little longer. Thank you for watching us. It would be great to see you again one of these days. And I want to tell you that all of their films, or almost all of their films, will be screened later in the festival. And it would be great. Get inspired, pick them up in the festival, check the catalog, and enjoy the rest of the Zlin Film Festival. Ahoy!